Hi, so great to be here with you on this doTERRA educational series. My name is Dr. Danielle Daniel. I am a doctor of psychology and licensed clinical social worker from San Diego, California. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit today about stress and the brain, but also maintaining an atmosphere that is conducive for hope-based thinking. So first I want to talk to you a little bit about what hope-based thinking is. It's not having an expectation or a control, right? Expectations will always fail you. And expectations are still a form of fear. And we all go through feelings and emotions of stress and fear, as well as anxiousness and all these types of things that come up with uncertainty. The wonderful news about hope and fear is that they both are putting faith into an uncertainty. And we get to choose, right? We have this beautiful ability to choose that allows us to navigate between the two and go, okay, I'm going to choose to have hope in a situation versus fear in a situation because both are unknowns. So why not choose hope? So as I said, expectations will always fail you. How many of you guys have ever had expectations on your life, right? I have, big time. And they've always failed me. I'm like, I'm going to be married by this year. I'm going to have kids by this age. And guess what? Yeah, all that failed. So none of that happened, and that's okay. And I had to get to a point finally when I actually a few years ago lost the ability to have children, and I was just like, okay, I can no longer control, which is an expectation on being able to have children. And I just said, what am I to do? And I had to turn back to just hope that somehow, some way, someday I'll be a mom, and I don't have to know the how, what, when, where. I just get to let that go and continue to feel hope. And I'm going to tell you something, it feels a lot better to practice hope than it does to feel fear in a situation. So it's a constant thing I get to navigate with different things in my life, and that you get to navigate in things in your life as we're going through stresses and traumas and fears. We just get to navigate and go, okay, the fear is because I can't control the outcome. But a hope is what? A hope is that no matter the outcome, I'm going to be okay because I'm going to figure out how to be okay. Okay, I'm resilient. I'll be guided. Interventions will come, miracles can come, things that you just couldn't expect, right? So hope is the opposite of having expectations. It's the expect the unexpected. And so that's what we get to do with hope versus fear-based thinking. So I want to talk a little bit about essential oils and how those can create an environment in the brain conducive for you to choose hope, to have hopeful thoughts. And before I even go into that, I'm going to tell you the word hope, I'm not using this lightly. I know it's kind of sometimes used as a wish-washy word, but it's not. There's actual research showing that hope-based brains protect you from stress, anxiety, and also uplift mood and positive thoughts. So that's pretty cool. If you can see that research is showing hope-based brains can do a lot for your own mental well-being, then we know that this is a really important attribute that we can pull on. It's a power, actually. I love thinking of it as a power. So as we go into essential oils, that can actually help the brain and help you choose to be in a hope-based state. So essential oils, one of the things that they can do is they're really good at calming the stress cycle. So when we experience stress in the body, the HPA axis, which is your hypothalamus, the pituitary, and the adrenal gland throughout the body communicate this entire stress response. And they send out stress chemicals that really implicate different parts of our body, specifically the prefrontal cortex, this part of the brain in the front, the limbic system, which is actually on the amygdala mostly, which is your emotional brain, and then you also have the hippocampus, which is your memory. Those are three pretty main and big areas in your brain that get affected heavily during stress. So what happens is when we continue with stress, then it continues to run havoc on those areas. So that's what I love about essential oils is they just get in the beginning stages and allow your brain to go, hey, we can calm down. We can calm down the HPA axis and say we're okay. We can go back to homeostasis and we can choose to feel hopeful about our situation. So one of the essential oils that I want to talk about today is Bergamot Essential Oil. Now, I actually did my dissertation in my doctorate of psychology of research on Bergamot Essential Oil. Really, really cool. Has amazing benefits for stress. And bergamot, one of the things that it's wonderful at is decreasing the activity with HPA axis in a stressful moment. And it helps increase positive mood. And so it really creates this conducive environment for hope-based thinking. So I love bergamot for that. Oh, it just smells so amazing. So some of my participants in my research study said that they were able to feel positive for longer times than they were usually without using the essential oil. And many of them said in a stressful situation, it helped them just calm down and be okay. I thought that was really good feedback from my participants in my research study. So another thing is I want to talk about essential oil. I'm going to look at my notes real quick for you guys. Is we talked about how so bergamot is going to help with HPA axis and calming in the limbic system and with your emotions, right? So another one that we sometimes forget about is your memory, right? Your hippocampus. And your memory takes kind of a toll when stress comes in the situation. And that's where we look at turmeric essential oil. I love turmeric. So research studies on turmeric have shown that it helps to really protect memory, and especially in a stressful environment. It can really safeguard your hippocampus and allow you to cognitively stay alert and stay in a positive mood. So turmeric, there's studies that have been done on the curcuminoids and on the essential oil. So the curcuminoids, there was a study that was done. I wrote down some notes here. It talked about, where was it? Protect the hippocampus and ameliorated the fear response, and it protected memory. I thought that was really cool. It helped improve the fear response in this research study. So what I prefer to do is do turmeric as a duo capsule. So you've got the curcuminoids and the essential oil together, because the research on both of them show that it does wonders for memory and wonders for stress as well as fear. So again, how you can see these essential oils just help create this environment in your brain to conducive to hope-based thinking. And that's everything is foundational upon hope-based thinking, our well-being, our ability to grow in resilience, our ability to receive enlightenment is all based on this hope-based thinking. Can you see how important that is? And I love that, again, bergamot and turmeric are my two top ones I wanted to spend time with you on today, on using them and why to use them. So let's talk about how to use them. So bergamot, what I did in my research study in my doctorate was I had my participants use it 4 times a day. So we used it in the morning, and then 4 hours later, so midday, 4 hours later in the afternoon, about 4 p.m., between 4 and 6 p.m. And I had my participants, and this is what I would suggest because we had really good results with this, is do 1 drop of bergamot in the palm of your hand. And sometimes 2 will come out. That's pretty normal. That's still an okay amount. And I had my participants just inhale it through the nose for 5 deep breaths or 30 seconds. And so if you do that, that's a preventative measure just to help your body manage stress. And any extra, I always tell people, put it on your heart center, which communicates directly to the brain as well. But inhale 5 deep breaths for those 3 times during the day, and then at night you can diffuse it overnight, and it helps with sleeping. And I actually have people do that for like a 6-hour intermittent on the diffuser so that you get it all night long in the brain. So that's what I would recommend for bergamot use, is 4 times a day, or just as needed. If maybe you're doing okay, and I have some moments where I start to feel stressful and I just grab my bergamot and just inhale it. So the next thing I would tell you is with turmeric, I would use a duo capsule, like I said, because the research shows that between the curcuminoids and the essential oil, they both help incredibly with reducing stress and improving your fear response. So I think that's really important, and it helps with the hippocampus, protecting that memory, and memory is affected when we have stress. So I would recommend just whatever the bottle label says, but I take about 1 to 2 capsules. I take 1 capsule at a time, 1 to 2 times a day. So I love turmeric for that. And then lastly, I just want to touch a little bit on Copaiba. So there's so many amazing things that your cannabinoid receptor 2 can do, and we know that beta-carophylline, which is the heavy constituent inside of Copaiba, has a lot of beta-caryophyllene inside of copaiba, right? So we know that this binds to cannabinoid receptor 2, which helps, and research shows, to reduce stress, to reduce fear, and to reduce anxious emotions. So it's incredible. I like to use the capsule of copaiba, and I also recommend you can do it in the diffuser with bergamot. So if you were going to do in a diffuser, I would do 4 drops of bergamot, 2 drops of copaiba, just for a start. You can play around with that. But that is my favorite heavy hitters for really inducing a state in the brain where you can choose to feel hopeful about any situation you're going through. I hope this has helped you, and I'm very grateful to be on here with you as a mental health practitioner. This is a subject that I'm very passionate about and helping you, and of course, I love essential oils, and in fact have written the largest compilation of mental health and aromatherapy that's ever been done, and I love this subject. It is such a fascinating subject to know that plants can do so much for our brain in helping us with mental preparedness. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Great to be on with you guys. Bye-bye.